Shalom. I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakal Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to my Akim, who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. This is your brother Yakalio from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is about the biblical prophecy of America's allies turning against her and burning her with fire. This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16. And the 10 horns, which refers to the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast is NATO. These shall hate the whore, which is America, also known as Mystery Babylon the Great, also known as spiritually Sodom and Egypt, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. So the precept says, and shall eat her flesh, which means that these allies of America, they're going to be making moves over time that weakens her. And then at the climax of it all, which is the destruction of America, okay? America's own allies are going to take part in shooting those ICBM missiles to destroy America. And of course, America's enemies, which include Russia and Russia's allies, which include Iran, and the prophecy in Ezekiel 38 refers to Turkey as well, which is actually a member of NATO. And then you have the so-called African nations, the Hamites. All right, all of those will be joined onto Russia and will aid in the destruction of America. Okay, so in regards to biblical prophecy, we look at all things and we look at every single move that happens, man. Okay, no step is too small. Every single step is relevant, and with each day that passes by, we get closer to the kingdom. Okay, so actually, I want to bring out a visual representation because it helps me, and I know Jake, Israel, the Israelites, my people, y'all. Sometimes it's just better to see a visual representation. So here it is. The beast with 7 heads and 10 horns is NATO. The 7 heads equals the 7 governments or kingdoms of Esau, ruled by Esau, and Esau are these so-called white people. Okay, they're the Edomites, their forefathers Esau. And of course, America's that whore, Revelation 17 and verse 1. And then you see the heads. Okay. So the 10 horns represent the common market, or the European Economic Community, EEC, established in 1958. All right, today it's known as the EU, and then you can see the countries there, and then you can see the countries there at the bottom for NATO, and take a look at that. All right, now Hungary, the article I'm about to bring out, this one will be about Hungary and the moves Hungary is making, which is tearing away at America's flesh. Okay, so Hungary's authoritarian leader breaks with the EU, saying he'll pay for Russian gas in rubles. So breaks with the EU. All right. Orban is once again going against the European Union and says he will pay for Russian gas with rubles. Russia has demanded that unfriendly countries pay for gas in rubles, and his war is amid his war in Ukraine. Though Hungary is an EU country and NATO member, Orban has close ties with Putin, you see? So an EU member is rubbing shoulders, or whatever the saying is, with the enemy. And eventually all of them are going to be doing as such. They're going to be moving into that direction because of biblical prophecy. Hungary's authoritarian prime minister has broken ranks with the European Union, saying that he will pay for Russian gas in rubles amid Russian President Vladimir Putin's war with Ukraine. We don't have any difficulty paying in rubles. If the Russians ask us to, we pay in rubles, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban told reporters on Wednesday, according to a tweet by Hungary's international spokesman Zoltán Kovács. Putin has threatened to stop sending gas to Europe if countries Russia designated as unfriendly don't pay in rubles. The move is part of an effort to boost the value of the Russian currency by increasing demand for it. The ruble was initially hit hard due to crippling economic sanctions as a result of Putin's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, but the Russian currency has made a stunning recovery. Wow. Which we know all of that entire situation, you know how Esau do. Stunts and smoke screens and deception and all those kinds of things, to push forth their agenda, and taking a look at this, and I'm speaking as a man, because it really can happen in any kind of way. But what we're seeing with this, certain ramifications, is that there's going to be inflation. There's inflation, right? I believe I did an article yesterday, if I'm remembering correctly, that I think it was Putin, Russia said that poor countries are going to be feeling the brunt of it, and that basically the famine is coming. And this is the goal of the elite, the wicked elite of Esau Edom. Okay? And of course, they're pushing their NWO agenda, which at the forefront of that is their microchip, which is the mark of the beast. If unfriendly countries do not pay in rubles from April 1st, we will consider this a default on gas contracts, in which case existing contracts will be stopped, Putin said after signing the decree on Thursday, which was yesterday. Today is April 8th, 2022, the year of turning up. Yahweh Shemi Shai turning up. According to Russian state news outlet RIA Novosti, the list of unfriendly countries which received the designation from Russia in response to widespread condemnation of its 6-week invasion of Ukraine includes the US, UK, and EU countries. Okay, the beast and NATO. Well, the beast and the 10 horns, which respectively is NATO and the EU. Hungary is a member of the EU and NATO, though Orban is an ally of Putin. The Hungarian leader recently referred to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as one of his opponents in his victory speech after he was re-elected to a fourth term. Orban ran on a platform of peace and security, telling Hungarians he could keep them safe from the consequences of the war in Ukraine. Other European leaders have rejected Putin's demands to pay for Russian gas in rubles. Germany, Europe's largest economy, has already activated an emergency plan to deal with disruptions to its natural gas supply. Orban has taken a series of anti-democratic steps to cement his rule in Hungary since coming to power over a decade ago, including enriching his allies with public funds, eroding the free pass, attacking the independence of the judiciary, and remaking the electoral system to favor his party. Rights groups and democracy watchdogs have expressed serious concerns about these trends in Hungary, as well as whatever. The Hungarian leader's close ties with Russia, as well as the Chinese government, has been a constant source of tension with the EU. Orban has been repeatedly condemned by the EU on issues like human rights. The European Commission on Tuesday announced it would move to cut billions in EU funding to Hungary for violating its rule of law standards after years of democratic backsliding under Orban. So, it's tension among the Edomites. Okay, and I love to see this. All right. The precept says in the book of Matthew, I believe it's in Luke as well. Let me see if I'm remembering correctly. Ah, yes. This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 26. Let's start at verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And what are we seeing happening to the kingdom of the Edomites? We're under Edomite rule right now. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. The so-called white people they rule. It's clear to see. Okay, you don't even have to be in the truth to know that. That's just common sense, though not so common. But yeah, man, they divided, and if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand, and how can it stand, man? Well, we know by biblical prophecy that it's going to fail. You know, a wicked kingdom cannot stand. You know that in what is it? Ecclesiasticus chapter 8 and verse 10, or 10 and verse 8, it talks about because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, and it was ordained to be like that from the beginning. The kingdom was always set up to be given to be translated onto the Israelites, because we are the Lord's holy chosen people. We are the righteous. Okay. The reason why, you know, we don't appear as such right now is because we're under the curses and, you know, the whole story of it all. But by way of the spirit of how it is built up in the heavens by Yahweh Shemeshai, the Israelite spirit is a pure, clean spirit that is only righteous. And so we will be coming into our glorious estate once Yahushua returns, and we are set up as such, and we will no longer be in these chains of darkness where we go off. Okay? And that is a gift given only unto the Lord's holy chosen people, the Israelites. But Satan is divided against himself, and his kingdom is dying, it's rotting, it's on its way out. And this is the days that we're in literally right now. So many events are building up to lead to the fulfillment of these biblical prophecies. Okay? So yeah, man, this is what's going on. And that's it, man. That's it. With that, I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemeshai Bashim Kodesh. Wa abad, babal, shalom.